Saw a meme by GME. Oh, all those memes, oh, they got to me.
This year's getting off to an interesting start because Reddit, a social media site best known for cat pictures, memes, and the occasional sex scandal, are about to cause a bunch of prestigious hedge funds to lose billions and billions of dollars because the stock of GameStop has went up a ton. And that's one of the craziest sentences I've ever said. But in addition to just being crazy, it's also kind of awesome and really funny. But the only person who'd be laughing if I tried to write something as crazy as this in my screenwriting class would be my teacher, as he gave me a C-. I know almost nothing about the stock market, but I know, arguably, depending on which YouTube commenter you ask, a decent amount about comedy. So in this video I'd like to explain to everyone who is just as confused as I am what is going on, and we can make some jokes, laugh along the way, and laugh at the expense of these hedge funds which have lost so much money. It's funny as hell. For starters, the key player involved here are hedge funds. Now what hedge funds are basically giant pools of assets that people will put money into and then will be managed and traded so that the value you've invested into the hedge fund will continue going up. Depending on who's managing it will obviously vary. I don't know. I have never, as you might be able to tell, I have never used a hedge fund, going off of Investopedia for this. And you might remember them as the villains of the Great Recession, because they fucked over more people than a 700-year-old prostitute. These are nefarious actors in a lot of cases, because one of the things they'll do is essentially short a company. And what a short is you're basically betting on a company to fail, that its stock price will decrease, and if it does, you will make money. Think about it like this. Say you're trying to climb the monkey bars, which you've never done before, but you think it looks really fun, so you're just going to climb them, it looks like everyone else is doing it, and one person is saying, Patrick, I don't think you're going to do it, you're going to miss a rung and you're going to fall. And while you were right, Jake, you are still an asshole. But to continue this not at all personal vendetta/metaphor, let's just say hypothetically tens of thousands of people decide to help you cross the monkey bars, and you do it successfully. Well, all of a sudden Jake's just lost billions and billions of dollars because that's how much money he had bet on you failing. And that brings us out of my painful childhood and into reality. GameStop is a really old, antiquated company that's the butt of so many jokes made by 14-year-old boys, lamenting over the fact that they're giving you $5 for a game you just paid $60 for a month ago. They're a brick-and-mortar space that was having trouble well before America came down with the case of COVID-19, and is routinely one of the most shorted stocks in the entire stock exchange. No one believes in this company for fair enough reasons. So you'd probably be shocked if I told you that GameStop's stock price went from $3 to $300 in a pretty short amount of time. So is it possible that people are magically realizing that the decaying corpse of a business that wasn't even relevant in 2015 is suddenly worth 100 times what it was a few weeks ago? I don't know if I buy that. I think the much more plausible and real, what is the answer? I know the answer, that was a rhetorical question, I'm very sorry for lying to you. It all comes down to a little Reddit community, not so little anymore, called r/WallStreetBets. And what used to be a subreddit dedicated to worshipping God Emperor Elon Musk and the Tesla Corporation has now seemingly overnight provoked the rage and fury of the Wall Street establishment and caused hedge funds to lose billions and billions of dollars because of a bunch of anonymous random people on the internet. So we don't even really know a whole lot about this community. It's Reddit, the whole thing's kind of anonymous. We don't know how many people are involved or how much money they're involved for. It's Reddit, it's half of the site's porn, it's fairly anonymous. But what we do know is that en masse they are buying GameStop stock. They're saying on the subreddit, let's all buy it, and the stock price goes up because there's a lot of now demand for that stock. And the price will then go up. So that's good in and of itself. But why all these companies have lost money is because they have invested billions in shorting that stock. So when the price rapidly goes up on your short, you then need to buy more GameStop stock to cover your losses. So it's a huge feedback loop that's just causing the price to explode and these companies to lose billions and billions of dollars. And the most notable hedge fund involved in this is Melvin Capital, who some sources are indicating are about to declare bankruptcy or a bankruptcy declaration is imminent from them. but many other hedge funds were also pretty sizably invested in shorting GameStop stock. And it's still one of the most widely shorted stocks in the entire stock exchange. And other companies are probably losing millions, if not billions of dollars. It's not just Melvin Capital. This is having huge effects on the entire market. GameStop prior to this was pretty much one of the most universal black sheep in the entire marketplace. But you know what they say about black sheep? Sometimes a bunch of people will come into your living room, tens of thousands, and say, yo, you know, this sheep is actually worth a lot of money, and then you will lose billions of dollars. I think that's how the saying goes anyway. Here's the bottom line though. A bunch of random people have completely screwed over these hedge funds basically for a joke by artificially increasing the stock price of GameStop. And it is awesome to see. This isn't even really a new phenomenon. Back in the 1920s and 1930s, when the stock market was just being formed, this was pretty common. Groups of traders would band together to buy one stock, knowing that the price would increase. And there's fundamentally nothing even illegal with it. In fact, in its current form, it's almost like a modern-day Robinhood tale. And honestly, I think that story was in need of a revamp anyway. I don't even really remember the original. I'm pretty sure he, climbed down chimneys and stole candelabras from fat people. I mean, I guess that's cool in, 900 when there's nothing to do besides, read the Bible, eat, sleep, and die. But I think this is a much more compelling version of a modern-day Robin Hood, where instead of a slender man stealing trinkets, it's thousands, if not tens of thousands of people who refer to themselves as autists, pumping up the stock of a pretty much irrelevant company and causing the people in charge of our economy to lose billions and billions of dollars. To me, that's much more interesting. And you can see on r/WallStreetBets so many feel-good stories of what people are doing with their money. It's really something to see and warmed my heart a little bit, even as someone who really resents the financial industry, because this is taking advantage of the financial industry, which I am always a fan of. For legal reasons, this is a joke. And fundamentally, this is no different from the market manipulations that rich people and rich companies do all the time. I'm really struggling to find any sense of sympathy with people who knowingly made these risky investments and are now getting screwed over. Literally, I know nothing about finances prior to this video, still probably don't know anything, but I googled shorting, and literally the first thing that came up was an article that said you should never short stocks, it is too risky. So, you're telling me that these billion-dollar companies are too stupid to use Google? It's literally the first result. So, I have zero sympathy for these people, and I really hope they don't get bailed out by the federal government. The last part of this is really just going to be dedicated to dunking on all these people who are bitching about how unfair the system is. Oh, woe is me. This is a little tune on the world's tiniest violin, if you can see that. It's very small. There's plenty of things you can dunk on, plenty of awful tweets that are being wildly mocked for good reason on the internet about people who are butthurt or people who don't think this is funny. This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's a bunch of people who are literally on Reddit destroying the Wall Street economy. But by far the funniest thing I've seen is this guy who wants to ban social media until we can get this whole stock thing under control. Jesus, man. And my response to anyone who thinks that this is unfair in the financial industry, or that this is gambling, or that this is not how it's supposed to work, you're not supposed to lose money, my advice is to go into a casino, lose some money, and then complain to the pit boss that it's unfair. And you will be thrown out of that casino very promptly. And frankly, I would pay money to watch that dude get thrown out of the Caesar's Palace or something. It'd be very funny. And afterwards, I could give him a ride home to the farm in which he belongs. Aww. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you've learned something. I hope you laughed. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. I'm trying to do more content like this all the time. Do reviews, comedy, stuff like this. Share the video with your friends. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you liked the video, leave a comment. Positive. If you didn't like it, you know, please be respectful. Yeah. But, anyway, peace out, guys.